Good morning and greetings to everyone joining. Investment and Development Agency of Latvia is pleased to invite you to take part at the third Mechanical Engineering and Metalworking Business Forum of Latvia, including outstanding presentations by renowned local and foreign speakers from the industry. The forum will provide excellent opportunity to exchange experience and discuss new global trends, the successful development in mechanical engineering, explore new opportunities and competitive advantages to establish business in Latvia. My name is Kristaps Talbergs and I'm going to be the host for the forum. Before we continue, let's take a brief moment actually to discuss, and I will introduce to some technical details. First, about the live stream and language options. Well, the whole event will be held in English with the translation into Latvian. You can watch this forum live stream on multiple platforms and enjoy it either in English or in Latvian. First option is Investment and Development Agency's homepage. That is liaa.gov.lv. There, on the live stream corner, you have an option to pick a language you prefer, English or Latvian. Second option, I welcome everyone watching via Facebook at the LIAA Facebook feed. There are two simultaneous live streams available for you. One is in English, the second one is in Latvian. Pick accordingly. And the third option is for our registered forum participants via Zoom. Make sure that you have an updated Zoom application installed on your computer. If so, then on the bottom bar you have an interpretation icon with a small globus on it. And click it on it and voila, you have two language options again available for you. Multiple language options are available only on Zoom application and unfortunately is not available on web browsers. Also, we want to encourage you to register for the forum, as the registered participants watching the stream on Zoom can see the Slido link and the ID number at the top right corner of your screen. Use that Slido link to ask questions during our panel discussions or to our guest speakers. The Investment and Development Agency of Latvia is local and international at the same time. A network of foreign representatives and cooperation set of connections with the other institutions in Latvia and abroad bring LIAA close to its customers and links them to the major markets, business partners and locations. LIAA assists international companies to establish and expand in Latvia. It also provides trade advice, support and business opportunities to Latvian exporters. I'm honored to welcome right now Director of Investment and Development Agency of Latvia, Mr. Kaspars Roškalns, to officially open the third Mechanical Engineering and Metalworking Business Forum here in Riga. Welcome, Kaspars. We can hear you and see you loud and clear. Welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Kristaps, for great opening lines. Well, from LIAA, or Investment and Development Agency of Latvia, first of all, I would like to say thanks for the big team that did this forum online. That it is possible that we are here, and I know that everybody is already exhausted from all the Zoom online, whatever events, and we are waiting for the vaccine, and as we can see, the airline stock shares are going up, so the world is expecting 2021 to be back more to the normal than 2020. Obviously, I am very pleased to see this big crowd of metalworking guys, of mechanical engineering guys from a very international crowd joining today, as we have more than 100 participants from 20 countries, 20 plus countries actually. And this is probably, again, one of the pluses from the COVID-19, because yes, realistically, it was way more harder to travel internationally, via airplane, staying two days, 3 days, etc. You have to plan the schedule and so on and so on. However, now we can meet each other online quite easily. Let me get just a couple of points across about the metalworking and mechanical engineering industry in Latvia. So the first of all, it is definitely one of part of backbone of Latvian economy, because it's the second largest sector and very export oriented sector. It's exports more than 80% of the all production goes into foreign markets. If we look at springtime, COVID-19 came to Europe, and all the demand went really steep down. Also, the mechanical engineering and metalworking sector was struggling. However, the bump in March was a little bit less than, let's say, other industries, because obviously the contracts had to be filled out, and as the Latvia feels the part of tier 3 or tier 4 companies that produce some of the parts to the biggest companies, that we didn't felt this drop that steep. And then we recovered. Yes, we took a lot of bumps during that road, but during the September, the Latvian exports overall showed the biggest volume in production in product exports overall ever in history. Therefore, COVID or no COVID, we can see that the Latvians can overcome these obstacles. We can work together. We are very connected. We are ready to for the challenges, and we are ready to innovate. And I really hope that this is, let's say, one of the discussion parts will be: is this an opportunity for production chains, and this is an opportunity for Latvia to bump ourselves up in this production chains? And for the short term, definitely we can move in the market that somebody let's say player exited from the market, and we can move up in that market, but it's swimming in the red ocean. What the investment and development agency is promoting and asking for the industry and asking for these discussions. So the real companies, the metalworking companies, the mechanical engineering companies, first of all, would see the Industry 4.0 as the benefit, as it is, and maybe even to start to see what's beyond the 4.0. And this is our, let's say, task, to push the companies to the path of innovation, because either we can compete on the price, or we can compete on the product and quality of the product. The quality of the product on the Western European standards is very high. So when we reach with the same tools, the same quality, we'll definitely reach the same price. So we have to innovate. We have to come up with new solutions, with the new approaches. And this is something where our agency is definitely a part. We're really happy that the international players are here today to talk on the panels, to talk also on B2B events, to see the first KPI for us is definitely the business, what can happen in the closest months, that you two business guys meet virtually and agree on a deal. And that's definitely one big part of our KPIs. But definitely, on the other hand, the bigger KPIs is if the Western players and the local players see that the path to bigger growth, the joint growth, to compete together for the bigger international markets, then we have different kind of innovation programs and grant programs to support this path, to support the Green Deal path, to support the path of innovation. So I'm really happy for this forum. I hope that we'll be able, and by we, I mean everybody who is joining today, to reach the short-term goal of business and reach also to a little bit longer term goal of change of the mindset of going to the innovation path and do not be afraid from the words Industry 4.0 or 5G or whatever else is there, robotics, etc., because it's going to happen either way, and it's better to lead the battle, not to fall behind. Thank you very much. That's it from me.
Thank you, Mr. Kaspars Roškans, for opening words. Thank you very much. Our dear Minister for Economics of Republic of Latvia, Jānis Vitsenbergs, was planned to be with us, but unfortunately the cabinet meeting is still in a process, and they have right now the very issue of COVID-19 new data coming in, and probably he's just busy taking those issues forward. We wish him good luck, and unfortunately he can't be with us this morning. So why choose Latvia? Since the last decades, mechanical engineering and metalworking has become one of the most prominent manufacturing companies in high export-oriented sectors in Latvia, as we heard before from Mr. Roškans. The mechanical engineering and metalworking industries have historically been one of the leading industry sectors in Latvia. And now I would like to invite Chairman of the Advisory Board of Association of Mechanical Engineering and Metalworking Industries of Latvia, MASOK, Mr. Vilnis Rantiņš, to say a few opening words. We welcome you. We hear you loud and clear and see you. Welcome. You have to unmute yourself, Mr. Rantiņš, please. Click on the microphone that is still maybe red. Now maybe we will fix it. It's all right. Yes, yes, loud and clear. Welcome.
Good morning, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I congratulate you with participation in the third Mechanical Engineering and Metalworking Business Forum. I hope that during the forum you will be able to find for yourself new cooperation partners, as well as you will learn many new things, because in the forum there are more than many participants from more than 20 countries. That means that we have wide opportunities for potential markets to expand in them. And I have to say that at the moment, this industry, despite all the difficulties, is developing very successfully. Our products are being exported to more than 113 countries all around the world, which proves our capacity, as well as the amounts of production and export have stayed in the level of last year, meaning that the trends or the trend shows room for development. And I believe that this forum will give yet another signal for us to continue our development, not only for Latvian companies or from companies of our industry, but we will gain also valuable information as to other industry members from all around the world. So I would like yet again to congratulate you with this event, and we hope for cooperation. Thank you, Mr. Rantiņš.
And what a great topic to start the forum. Our first keynote topic is Industry 4.0, the big picture. We welcome Vice President and Head of External Cooperation at Siemens Corporate Technology, Professor Dr. Dieter Wegener. Welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning, Christoph Stalbergs, and thank you very much for the kind welcome. Can you see my presentation?
No, unfortunately, we cannot see it. Could you share your screen then?
I do it, yeah.
It's all right. This is all new for everyone, yeah. So it's.
Yeah, we have tested it, but that is okay.
All right, it's slowly coming up. Yeah, we can see the first page, and probably you should. Yes, yes, we can see it clearly. You can continue.
Okay, so welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. I have the honor to talk today to you on the topic Industry 4.0, the big picture. And I do it in my role as speaker of the Z4EE management team Industry 4.0. And what is Z4EE? That is the German Association for all electric and electronic manufacturers. These are 1,600 companies, small and big companies. So my presentation, I divided in 4 parts, and I start with digitalization of economy. You know that digitalization of economy is leading to a connected world. You see here the smart home and smart building application field, all the people in the healthcare arena, smart mobility, smart grid, and last but not least, Industry 4.0, meaning all factories and process plants connected in a production network. When you look this more from an analytical viewpoint, you have those 5 application scenarios beside. And here it's very important to understand that digitalization of economy has 2 parts. One part is that you take the analogous economy, which is well known to you because we are doing this since decades. That means an analogous value add, meaning, for example, taking a sheet of metal, having a machine tool, making out of this sheet of metal a product which you distribute to your customer with a logistic partner. And this is where you own analogous euros. And beside of that, you have second, the new business through the digital, through smart services, and this we call digital economy, which is based on the data evaluation. And what does it mean? I show you here. You see here below the so-called OT devices, operational technology devices. So machines, trains, windmills, gearboxes, robots, and all equipment which are machines and apparatus. And these are called operational technology. And then you have the IT, the information technology. And this is spread up in an architecture of 3 layers. The infrastructure as a service layer, these clouds where you have data centers where you store the data. Then you have the platform as a service layer where you have the operating systems, making the Internet of Things platforms available to take the data from the OT devices and evaluate them, making a digital value add. Means that you take the big data from here and you analyze them with apps here in the software as a service layer. These are apps like on your smartphone, but here in the industrial arena. And with these apps, you analyze the data coming from the OT devices and make a digital value add. And the difference to the analogous world is that you create with the software app a smart data as the output. And this smart data will be distributed with the logistic partner called Internet as a smart service to the customer base. The difference of the logistic partner Internet to the analogous world is that this is working with speed of light and that is for free. And that is a big reason, that is the reason that you have a disruptive behavior of the digital economy. And that is very important to understand, and that's very important to take care on. Now I want to share with you what our Industry 4.0 is in specific. For this, we have created a concept which belongs to 3 dimensions. The first dimension is that you digitalize the value add. The analogous value add you make out of a factory, a smart factory. You make out of a plant, a smart plant. The same for the products. You make of a product, if you digitalize it, a smart product. And last but not least, you create smart services by evaluating the data coming from the smart factories and the smart products, as I mentioned before. And now I want to give you examples. First, for the smart product, you see here on the right-hand side a machine tool of a German manufacturer. And on the left-hand side, you see the digital twin of this machine. The functionality of this digital twin is, with the use of simulation tools, the same as you do it on the right machine, on the real machine. The worker has the advantage that he can prepare the job on the machine, his next job on the machine. Beside of the machine is still running, is still productive, and he can work on his laptop anywhere in his home office or at a different location, far away from the machine. He can prepare the next job on the machine. The functionality is the same as you would do it on the machine, but you save time, and overall you increase the productivity by 10%. That is much, and you can use this concept of the digital twin to any purpose in your factory. Now I want to come to the smart factory, and I want to explain what is it. A smart factory, for this I take first a factory, a small factory, which you can see here. I make it a little bit bigger. You have a classical assembly line. You have a feeding station where you get bottles in. Then you have a station 1 where you put a white and red hat on it. And you have a station 2 where you put a blue and a red hat on, and then you get it out in the sorting station as an output. And the transition belt is transporting the bottles through this equipment. And you have sensors equipped to have information for the automation equipment. And what is the automation equipment? The automation equipment is such here in a cupboard. You have here, in this case, a Siemens equipment, a SIMATIC S7 1500, which is the control system for the whole setup. And you have some other boxes for driving the electrical drives and the sensors and all those things. And how it looks like. Now, when you want to make this factory smart, you have to digitalize the value add. And there's a whole working stream. And by this, you take first, you have to do 3 parts. First, you have to introduce a CAD software for design. And that means with that, you can include also a simulation tool, which is called Mechatronic Concept Designer. It's a simulation tool from Siemens, which enables you to simulate every physical behavior of your equipment in all cases. So you can simulate, for example, the bottles going around the conveyor belt, and with under the laws of physics. And that is the mechanical side. And now you come on the electrical side. You have also to simulate the automation system, the controller. And this you do also with the simulation software. It's called SIMIT in our brand name. And with that, you can optimize the factory. And you see here in the video the unoptimized system. And now you can optimize the design by taking care on the speed, taking care on the speeding and all those things. And here you see the feeding station here, and you see here the sorting station as the outcome. Now, that is the classical thing you have in all your factories, but now what is the smart service and how could you apply this to a conventional factory? And I want to show you this in an example. So you take the same equipment here, you take the same cupboard, but you put in here a MindConnect Nano box, which costs approximately 800 euros, is a high performance computing controller. And then you take software, a lot of software, because you need to analyze the time series coming from the sensors from your equipment. going in this nano box, and then this time sensors you put in a processor software, learner software, controller software, service-oriented architecture, user interface software, you have an operating planning software, and you have some databases to store the data coming from the time series. And this is working on a MindSphere operating system. MindSphere is the IoT platform system by Siemens. And with that, you can optimize the system without knowing the details of the system. The system you see here, in gray you see the original system, and in green you see the optimized system. And the optimized system will avoid all. The system will solve, with the help of artificial intelligence, find the global optimum on the system. And you see as a result that the optimized system is much faster, but with the difference that it is not putting the feeding station in the equidistant manner, but in a different manner. And this you can't find by a human being. You have to use artificial intelligence to find this global optimum. And just, I'm not sure whether you can see this on the video, left the unoptimized system, right the optimized system. And here you can see the left-hand side is just running, and here the optimized system will be now ready, and this is still working. You see it's still working because of gems and unoptimized structure. And now you see the result. If you take the smart service to optimize your factory, then you can, in this case, increase your efficiency by 31.4%. just by using of software tools, a MindSphere platform system, and artificial intelligence for optimizing. And what do you have to invest? It is very simple. You have to take the same factory as you have, but you have to invest in this MindConnect NanoBox on the hardware side, and you have to invest into software systems, cloud integrations, the simulation license, and you have to develop your app on this, which is very easy when you have experts in your team. And in this case, the break-even was lower than 1 year. That is very promising, and that is, I would recommend to you to apply smart services to your equipment in your factories and process plants. Now, I want to share the German initiative on Industry 4.0. In Z4E, we formed a team, the so-called Z4E management team, Industry 4.0. There are a lot of members, small and medium-sized enterprises, but also big companies as Siemens, and of course, research institutes and other partners. We have also a German political platform, Industry 4.0, you perhaps know, which is funded by the Ministry of Economy and the Ministry of Research. And we work together in a huge network in this community. The main task of Industry 4.0 is to bring the operational technology in the shop floor together with the IT, the information technology in the office floor, along the value chain, which is simplified here with the product development, production, and service. And the major challenge is to increase the interoperability along this value chain, and of course to raise up the interoperability between the shop floor and the office floor, between the OT and the IT. Now, what we do in the Z4E management team, we define an Industry 4.0 component, which is similar to the definition of a cyber-physical system. And this is a concept which works for all industries, from process industries over hybrid industries to discrete industries. And what is it? It is a normal product, an OT device, which is supplemented with an asset administration shell. Here's a blue shell, and this asset administration shell enables this Industry 4.0 component to have an Industry 4.0 compatible communication along this reference architecture model Industry 4.0. You can stick into the details if you go on the Platform Industry 4.0 homepage. There you have a lot of documentations and illustrations of this concept. And just to give you an idea, for the communication layer, there you see all those protocols perhaps you are familiar with: TCP, IP, 4G, and in the future, time-sensitive network 5G, if it's mobile. And so the strategic approach in the Industry 4.0 initiative is, in a nutshell, on one page, to enable digital economy with the help of the definition of this Industry 4.0 component, introducing the I40 component with this asset administration shell on the right-hand side to connect OT devices with this IT board. And for this purpose, the German association ZVI and VDM formed an Industry Digital Twin Association as a user organization for Industry 4.0 on the 23rd of September of this year, so just brand new. And we are working also on a digital nameplate 4.0, which enable us to connect every OT device via an QR code to come to a valid standard, to come to a link on the internet, which is defined by this standard DIN spec 91406. For those who are interested in, please go into this link, there you get more details. Now I want to share a little bit in the last minutes what is Siemens is doing on Industry 4.0. You know this concept which I explained from the association viewpoint, and Siemens has this concept. It's the same, but just in a marketing illustration. We call it digital twin approach in the product design, in the production, and also in the performance. And it is very important that you need platforms, a platform for the engineering side, and also a platform for the data coming from the devices. And that is the MindSphere I explained already. And of course, this is all covered with application of cybersecurity means. And just to give you an idea, the virtual product, we make a design where digital twin, here a car body, a framework of a fuselage, here a lever, and you can simulate everything what you like, also PCB boards and electronics and what you think about aerodynamic flow. You can simulate a wind tunnel, you can make honeycomb, you can do everything with simulation with our tools. And then you are going in the virtual production scene. So you think about how to make the production, but first in the computer. For this, you see here some applications in the shop floor with robots who are applying, or here in the pharmaceutical area, or in the assembling of an airplane fuselage or an airframe, or you go in the electronic arena, or here's a honeycomb where you produce it. So everything you can simulate also with software. And last, now you go in the real production. And in the real production, you know, this is what it looks like if you go in a factory or in a process plant. You see a lot of automation equipment, and this is enhanced with the MindSphere MindSphere IoT platform. So you can evaluate also the data coming from the production, and that is shown in the next slide, where you analyze all the production and product performance with MindSphere IoT platform. That is something you can improve your efficiency with the use of analytic tools. So this is good, and MindSphere is not only Siemens, but it is a huge ecosystem containing a lot of partners worldwide. Here is just given a few partners. And now I want to finalize with two examples using artificial intelligence. One is in our factory at where you have a production line for welding the PCB boards, and the X-ray is necessary to control every part coming out of this line. And normally you we want to increase the volume of the production line, but there was X-ray was a bottleneck. So to avoid the investment of a new X-ray machine, we introduce artificial intelligence. So how would you do? We take out of this assembly line the data in real time. These are more than 40,000 production parameters for each time step. And then we put it in an edge device, going to the MindSphere platform, apply an artificial intelligence training software. This learns from the data, and the outcome was that we can avoid to invest a new X-ray machine to overcome the bottleneck by analyzing these data coming from the assembly line, and we could minimize the X-ray test by 30% by the same quality rate. The effect number is 99.9988%, and we save 500,000 euros by using this artificial intelligence. And the next example is coming from Hella, that is a customer of Siemens who is doing machine tools. And these machine tools, you know, perhaps the Hella machines, and they have this rack where you put the machine tools in, which is handled by a robot. And so the question is how to optimize the placing of the tools, because the farther away the tool, the longer the distance, the longer the way, the longer the time you need for the robot to bring it to the machine. So the optimization of this is not analytically solvable. So this is done by also applying application artificial intelligence on the MindSphere platform. And the outcome was that it was optimized as you can see here on the simulation by to put all those who are often used in the middle and all those who are not so often used in the corners, and that is very pragmatic, and we save by that 20% on productivity. And Hella is selling this as a new business model as a smart service to his customer base. So thank you very much for listening, and I'm now open for questions.
Thank you, Professor Dieter Wegener. Thank you very much. Right now, I'm checking that there are no questions. I believe your presentation was so fluent, so perfect. So everything was clear. Thank you for connecting with us.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I will share my presentation as a PDF file to the participants. I will send it to the team, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now we will continue our forum with a panel discussion. And I'm sure that in the next half an hour or so, we will hear great inspiring stories and the wonderful conversations about the mechanical engineering and metalworking industry here in Latvia. Panel discussion, Industry 4.0, case studies, Latvia success stories. Now, I would like to invite our panel discussion members actually to come and join me on the stage right now. Welcome, welcome. Please take your seats. And I invite a member of the management board at Perusa, Mr. Robert Dlohi, managing director at MindSource, Mr. Thomas Carlson, and director general at Schneider Electric Baltics Lithuania and Latvia, Mr. Denis Gaciha. Welcome, and CEO of company RoboEats, Mr. Jānis Poruks. Welcome. Well, welcome, gentlemen. First, I would like to start actually that you will have approximately 3 minutes time to present your company. But before that, could you shortly each describe what defines success and at what point the regular business story becomes business success story? Please. Dlohi, yes.
I believe success is being brave enough and capable to see and to get together what you have seen with what you predict what would happen, yeah? And then be brave enough to just to implement this, yeah? Even it's unknown something.
Mr. Porux.
Well, I believe that everybody has his own success measures, and for one, success is a product who reach the market. For somebody else, the success is something new that he has built. So we cannot tell every person have his each measures for success.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes, I think success is measured actually on the last row in the result of the company. So each system that we implement must pay for itself, must bring profit to our clients. It's everything we do add value to our clients. It's important for the success of their companies.
And Mr. Gatsiha, welcome. Your thoughts on success?
Yeah, there actually might be different aspects, different angles of this, but in my opinion, the success, one of the definition is it's about the change, it's about the transformation, it's about where you want to be. It's leading the change in where you want to be, and when after the particular things you can back and say that it was successful. It's about the way how people can feel and evaluate particular things that happen. So it's about transformation, I would say, and the change.
Thank you. Now we will continue with the presentations about your success stories. So 3 minutes approximately. So we have some time left afterwards to talk about your companies and maybe hear some questions from our participants. Mr. Dlohi, the stage is yours, please.
Okay. Shortly about Perusa. Perusa is engineering and manufacturing company, which again streams to be successful in new areas. Yeah? Where is my presentation? Oh, okay, back. So everyone knows this picture of Industry 4.0, how we came. Initially it was slow and then it rised up. The same did Perusa. Simple mechanic, sophisticated mechanical solutions, then first PLC usages, first computer vision AE, and then sophisticated robots and automation. And now we are entering IT universe. What does it mean? It means that we have to think about complex things, and now everything should be taught as interoperability, decentralization, real-time analytics, virtualization, service orientation, like the Siemens vice president said. And nothing, what does it mean? Nothing is stable anymore. In fact, must have meaningful data gathered and informed decision made. And this is what we are in the position to help companies. So I can just draw a very simple picture. Yeah? So anybody in the center of company should think about equipment, should think about inbound materials to be transformed and technological process, and all the time information is traveling in and out. And in fact, the situation is more complex in real life. Yeah, there's not just 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inputs you should follow at, and finally you are really upset. And decisions need to be done for every decision, and you can do this if you are well informed. So, not just words. This is what Perusa is doing now. We are in robotics. We are in some in very smart solutions. Yeah, you see, everything is made, engineered, made, installed, and programmed by Perusa. I'm really proud on our capability. So, what does digitalization take? It takes make a decision and start to change. Complex digitalization of all suitable processes. Yeah, it takes to reassess and redefine all processes. People can make shortcuts. Digital world cannot take shortcuts to the full extent like people do. It takes time, and Perusa worked it out for internal processes for several years already, in fact. Yeah, And now Perusa is becoming an IT solution company. I proudly announced it, yeah. So what does it take? It takes to join everything together, and Perusa knows equipment, technological process, and raw materials, final products. Therefore, we can help the guy in the center to make correct decisions. And he is happy now. So Perusa is at your digital and industrial purposes, and we are born in Latvia. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Delahi. Now let's continue with the presentation from MindSource. Mr. Thomas Carlson, please.
Thank you very much. I'll see if I can find my presentation also. I represent MindSource in Sweden. It's a Swedish innovation company that works with automation in various industries, from metalworking to furniture to healthcare to a number of different branches with volume producers. We design entire factories or lines. We source technology and help our clients to automate the production. So typical clients to us can be companies that comes to us and ask what can be automated, efficient, and bring down cost, for example. I will show you a few cases. I think I maybe lost a slide there. I start first with the digital factory because we are talking about Industry 4.0. We have developed something that we call the MindSource simulation engine. It's based on factory simulation, it's discrete event simulation, and it's all about the digital model of the entire factory. So the reality is transformed to a digital copy. This copy can be loaded with information, and the information, as the man from Siemens explained for you, can come from the process. It can be process data from the components from Siemens, for example, sitting in the line. It can be also planning information from MPS systems and other systems. This information can be processed to create in real time decisions. And then we talk about artificial intelligence. We upload everything we know about the process. We process it and let the simulation engine take decisions about what is better, how can we plan better. And then the simulation engine sends back information to the factory. We have done a lot of projects. One is IKEA. It's not metalworking, but it's still automation. In order to automate and to lower the cost to increase capacity with a great success. This one is a very interesting case where we use artificial intelligence, deep learning technology for inspection of engine parts, cast aluminum parts. We are based in Sweden, as I said, and I see the possibilities for cooperation with Latvia. We have the possibility to buy equipment and production and to export to Latvia as well. Of course, our services. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Carlson. Dennis Gatsiha, please tell us more about the success you have at the Schneider Electric Baltics.
Yep. Yeah, let me know if you can see the presentation. So,
yeah, we see it. Thank you.
I represent Baltic countries general manager. So today I would like shortly to introduce the company and the success what we have in Latvia is our smart factory, electrical plant in Riga. So shortly about the company, just key information. So we provide the energy and automation digital solution for efficiency and sustainability. So for us, basically the two things, efficiency and sustainability are the key. We actually more than 27 billion euros company as of end of 2019, and 5% of our revenues we devote to the R&D. So quite well positioned globally across the regions, and we have more than 1,035,000 employees all over the countries. And today, the purpose is to present a bit the smart factory, what we have in Riga. So the factory originally was founded in 1993. The Schneider Electric Group joined in 1999. So the key vocation is to produce the electronic devices for the EMEA market. And there's some kind of information on the basis what kind of the lines we have there and what do we do. So we have more than also 340 employees over there. So, and some years ago we actually started the journey. So in the whole in the group, in the company, in the whole world, it's about making our own factories smart. So basically in Schneider, we say that we know how important smart operations for the manufacturing industry, because we just use these technologies ourselves. We have quite entire chain of the supply chain, and we apply to our supply chain our EcoStructure, industrial Internet of Things technologies across our smart factories and across our smart distribution centers. They're the key components what you see exactly implemented in the Lexel factory. So I will present shortly some of the technologies, and there will be a bit more information about the few technologies on the bottom. We'll see in some short video. So typical example there could be on the top left corner. You can see a so-called MOM, manufacturing operation management. This is basically the software, pure software solution, which actually definitely provides information about the efficiency, about all lines availability, the differences per line, per shift, and so on and so on. So it's key software dedicated for the operators, for the shifts. And then we have traceability and the interlocking. It's also software which is available at each line. Definitely the key purposes here is it's about the quality, to be able to trace the production quality, and in case of anything, you can actually recall the particular parts and so on. Then we have also invested a lot in the advanced robotics. So in fact, what you see on the picture on the top right corner, there's two types of the technologies. On the one side, on the one picture, you might see the cobot, so-called collaborative robot, the robot which are able to communicate with, interact with the human. And another one is AGV. AGV is automatic guided vehicle, so dedicated for just moving the empty boxes, removing some other waste and so on. And for the key purpose of the cobot is definitely to eliminate routine job. So where you can actually elimination of the routine is the key purpose. Then also what you can see is 3D printing. So 3D printing we also started to use back in 2014 in our factory. So some key purposes, of course, it's about, we have actually different, of course, solution, different type of the 3D printers and so on. And then key point is, so there is this is there for prototyping. It's for the spare parts. And the key knowledge, of course, it's about the 3D drawing in order to have the solution. And then actually there are two more solutions what you see on the bottom, IoT analytics and augmented virtual reality. I would like to show a bit more. So as you might see, while I'll speak about augmented reality, this you can see at the same time the video recorded from our factory. So this is the key purpose is definitely to reduce the cost in the maintenance. And what we see across our factories by implementing particular solutions, that maintenance cost reductions increase from 30% to 50%. And also the key point, as you see, that when you actually scan, you need to have the tablet. When you scan, it's actually have the reference either to the picture or either to the object. In this particular case, you see to the object. So basically, it helps you to immediately to minimize the human errors. You can guide, particular operator or the maintenance engineer with the particular guides. And as you see in our factory, for example, we have a lot of also the younger generation, people who would prefer, in order to spend a lot of time, with reading the whole the manual, they can definitely, you can record particular videos, with the particular guides how to, for example, to find information about a particular area, how to do something and so on. This is a good example what you can put. And then definitely you can also, with this, you can achieve much more efficiency, and you can find much easier the particular information, right? Just it depends actually how much information you assign to the particular objects and the particular line or machine and so on. So,
thank you.
And also when you need, and one more maybe, one more is about IoT analytics. And this is also a key point here, is to move from the reactive maintenance to the predictive maintenance, because what we have, we use our sensors, which we also produce, by the way. Some of them we produce in our LIAA factory in Latvia, for the whole Schneider. And what we do, we're able to analyze the trend anomaly, we're able to predict particular behavior, and we can do some steps before the machine could actually get down. And by this, we can definitely save a lot of money. So this is the short information. It's about the collecting of information, analyzing through the software, and then put everything into action. So this is just the things what we have already here in our LIAA factory. So.
Thank you, Mr. Gatsiha. Thank you very much. I'm sure there will be some questions about the work you do just in a moment. We'll continue with finally, let's hear from the CEO of RoboEats, Mr. Jānis Poruks. Please.
Yes, thank you. So always it's better to show than tell, so maybe let's see the video, what our company is doing. Our company is developing a robotic system for food service operators. Basically, it's like a robotic chef. It's completely autonomous system which cooks and serves individual meals for the final consumers. It will help food service operators to run over the challenges of labor shortage, the big labor turnover, and the consumers will interact with the system through a mobile app, and it will give very individual information about meals we are eating, about diets, nutrition, and much more to live more healthier and better. We plan to open the first robotic restaurant here in Riga in the beginning of next year. So I hope I will be able to show it in real life very soon.
So this is how the next sushi will be made, yeah?
Maybe not sushi at the moment, but there will be thousands of different recipes.
Wonderful. Well, before we start our panel discussion, I want to remind our viewers, so you have a chance to ask your questions, particularly to each of the panel members, and please use the link. If you're watching and you're the registered member participant of the forum via Zoom, if you're watching, then on the top right corner you have the Slido link with the ID number. Please use it to ask questions and just go nuts with the questions, all right? At the end, we'll definitely address them. Now, success is a wonderful thing, and you all have it. But I'm sure that during the long way and many years, you have had tough decisions to make. Could you shortly please share one or two very tough decisions that you had to make, and now when you look back to that decision, you are absolutely confident it was the right decision. It was a tough one. We did it, and now we're here. We're successful. Mr. Gatsiha, maybe you can start.
Yeah, I can. So, yeah, if we look back, so one of the, let's say, toughest decision when our company decided to implement the smart factory approach across our supply chain. And yes, to start to change the mind, it's about, you see like a lot of technologies in front of you that we produce for our customers and partners. And then you need to implement all the technologies at your own factory. And this meaning that you need to go through the significant change. It's about also people. It's about the open mindset and ability to lead through this change. This was, I would say, the biggest, let's say, the biggest and the most important part, and which actually led us to the success what we have as today.
Thank you, Mr. Dlohi.
Yeah. I would say the main decision that led to current success is to hire right people, spot people with eyes open and very energetic to go for something new, and then let them to go and do the things. Even if they make mistakes, don't punish them, but encourage them to go further. We did it, and just believing that they will lead us into robotics and computer vision, we just gave them a license not to kill, but a license to prosper, and here we are.
Thank you.
Right people.
Right people. Mr. Poruks.
I believe in business you have to make tough decisions every day, so you don't need to concentrate on is it tough or is it not tough. You just make it, go further, evaluate, did you make it right, and make the next decisions. So it's everyday chore.
Carlson, please.
Many times we challenged ourselves to propose solutions that didn't exist. We promised customers to solve things that we didn't do before. So we had to invent it and believe in ourselves during the process. So sometimes it was hard to fulfill the specification, to reach the goal. Many such decisions. So, but I'm happy that we have been doing this, and that because it moves forward. We can always solve things together, because we also have a lot of very clever subcontractors that is very good and experts in what they do. So, as gentleman here said before, it's very important to be surrounded by clever people, and clever people in-house, but also as subcontractors that you can take help from to reach these goals and to develop further.
Yeah, I think it's very similar that, also Mr. Dlohi said that there should be a courage. There should be a courage to trust
you have to, in order to invent something new, you must go into the unknown.
Yeah.
You have to go outside your box, into the fog, so to speak, and try to find the way.
Could you please share one or two mistakes that you would never, ever want to repeat again? I don't want to go back to that decision. I don't want to go back to that situation. It was messy. It was terrible. Could you share one, please? I know that we will still consider you a success story. Don't worry.
You know, everything you learn is based on mistakes. Actually, you have to do a lot of mistakes in order to reach forward.
Okay. Yeah? You want to continue, sorry, Mr. Carlson?
I just wanted to say that everything actually is you learn from the mistakes. So
Okay.
I think it's so many that we did, so it's we don't remember all.
It's similar like Mr. Poruk said, it's just decisions every day, tough decisions and mistakes, well, they're every day. Gatsika, please.
Yeah, I would say to be more realistic maybe in time aspects, because, you know, when you have ambition, time planning, it usually goes the opposite side and brings the negative effect. So this is, let's say, our learning. So time planning and to be more realistic with this.
Thank you. Mr. Dlohi, any comments on that?
I believe the biggest mistakes, again, are related and was were related with people. Being too, say, having pampered incapable people who are not willing to grow and deliver, hoping that they will fix their behavior. No, if there is no drive for development, then you shouldn't go further with them. You should drop them. And yeah.
So it's a key factor to pick people that surround you. Yeah. So.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Mr. Poroks.
We have the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And yes, you were right that, like with the last question, the previous question, we need to learn from our big mistakes. And if we take experience, if we take some knowledge from those mistakes, what we make, or even better, from mistakes that makes others, then it is moving forward.
As you well know, market and client needs are always changing. What helps your company in those decisive moments? And Mr. Blochi also pointed that out about the team. How big is your team, and what have you learned about the people you surround with? More maybe the comment, because there are definitely companies watching and they want to learn and they want to have some insight in your company. How you pick people? What are the characteristics of those? Yes, please.
Perusa is close to 80 people together, yeah, and whole range of specialists needed for our. There are engineers, mechanical, mechatronical, automation, robotics, programmers, electricals, and very skilled shop floor workers, yeah, who assemble our machinery. So yes, it's less. It is hard to provide industrial solutions, yeah, good industrial solutions. So you have to have everything, and you have to be surrounded with a number of subcontracting companies who deliver some special knowledge when you need it. Yeah? So we are 80 and surrounded by few dozens of great suppliers.
Who are the decision makers in your company? How many are those people that sit around the table and, you know, I don't know, if that's the new market or that's the new product that you want to develop, how many people are there?
It depends. Regarding market, I would say that those are 4 people, yeah, deciding, but how to steer everyday processes is completely responsibility of department manager, heads of departments. And the board is not intervening on daily decisions. We make strategic solutions and support. We have to create supporting atmosphere to let our employees to perform the best. This is my task.
Okay. Mr. Carlson, please.
We work with engineers, in total with our partners around 20 people. It's important to collect the team, as we have talked about, that have the skills to make the projects, different skills. You asked before how to find the people. It's actually very difficult. And it's a good question. We, of course, I think for me it's not always about education, the highest education. It's about mindset more, about how the people think. And if they are reliable and will do the work. When you stay somewhere abroad in a dusty factory in the night and you have to solve the problem, I am focused more on people that do the work and don't abandon the customer or the project or the company.
Would you say that picking right people is one of the toughest
It's a key, yes, it's one of the toughest things actually to be, because one famous guy said that if you want to be successful yourself, you have to work with smart people.
Mr. Gatsicha, could you share about your team?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, yeah, in our company, we strongly believe in our people. We think that people make difference, and I think it's also it's about culture. It's about the culture in our company. So I think it's when you see people engaged, motivated, you know, on their own days that they want to lead, they want to change, they want to seek new heights, they would like to try new things that we provide. We're definitely investing a lot in our people, so we provide education, we provide different leadership trainings and the skills and the coaching and many other things. So I think this is the key success factor. You know, the people and what we have. It's a golden asset. So for sure.
And Mr. Porux, please.
Well, I believe one of the most needed things is excitement about the job you do, because we can laugh, but I can tell that nowadays YouTube can be an educational institution, because companies are representing their newest projects and solutions on this platform, and you can learn what is happening around and use these technologies to go further in your company.
Okay, thank you. And I want to remind our viewers that you have an option to ask questions to our panel discussion members here. So use the Slido link in the top right corner. There you can write down the question, and just make sure that you also type to whom the question should be addressed. We have a couple minutes left, and I want to ask each of you, what are the next goals for your company in the next 3 to 5 years? Please, Mr. Carlson.
I would, first of all, I would like to we are a company that have worked traditionally a lot with customized solutions, engineered solutions, because our foundation is engineering. One of the challenges to do that is that you have a lot of development in each project. It makes it more difficult to sell many products. So we will pick out areas, parts, machines from our solutions and pack them as products, so we can sell more standard solutions. If we do like that, we can also use sales networks. So we can, for example, here in Latvia, we can work together with companies that maybe are agents or machine sellers that could represent us to deliver more quick solutions that we have done before, machines that we have done before, not only these development projects that we do. And in the projects that we will focus on, it will be quite difficult products, like we talked about deep learning inspection systems for details, with clever solutions for vision technology to inspect. We will work more with this collection of information from the industrial process to take smart decisions in the simulation model. It's very interesting. We will work with that and create like a cloud solution that the clients can use in their factory. They can actually build their entire factory in something that we call My Factory in the cloud, and you see in real time how your factory perform. You see the problems. You can get out information for each line, each machine, and also the big picture, how you can replan the factory with virtual decisions based on this simulation engine. So we have a lot of challenges to work with.
Thank you for sharing. Mr. Porux, please.
Well, our next step is to open a robotic restaurant here in Riga, Latvia. And after we are collaborating with ABB to bring this solution globally. So these are our next steps for the next year.
And the sushi? Yeah.
There will be no sushi, but as I told, thousands of different recipes which are made from like fraction pieces like pastas, woks, and such things. But sorry, no sushi.
Good to hear. Mr. Gatsicha, please.
Yeah, so in our company, of course, we have many different goals for the next 3 and 5 years, but I would definitely like to highlight one of them, and the key purpose why we exist is about the sustainability. So we are on the global level, we are part of many sustainable committees, and we are seeking ourselves and committed to, first of all, Schneider, to achieve 100% of energy consumed by the renewables, to move fully towards the electrical vehicles. This is actually the global goals, and if we speak about our customers, our partners, and overall fighting for the climate change and so on, and definitely we are aim to help our partners and the customers to be more efficient and to be more sustainable, because what we see right now during this year, especially when with the COVID-19, it definitely shows as the planet, as the society, that we need as a planet to accelerate, definitely. And one of the key point here is digital technologies implementation everywhere, and to seek efficiency in order to have a direct impact on the CO2 emissions. This is the
Thank you. And finally, Mr. Dlohi, please.
Yeah. We will be the most preferred solution providers for companies who want to earn more. We are going to provide the most profit possible out of the production process, and this will be done by engineering of mechanical, mechatronical, and automation things, and both IT solutions. Complex solution for business decision makers will be the basis of our success in the coming years.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. It was nice to have you. Wonderful stories. I wish you nothing but the success in future, and really to achieve the goals that you mentioned. Thank you very much. And now we will continue our forum with the keynote, insight, perspectives, and challenges of mechanical engineering in Latvia. On the topic, we want to welcome Chairman of the Management Board at Association and Mechanical Engineering and Metalworking Industries of Latvia, Mr. Toms Greenfelds. We welcome you. Yes, we can see you. We can hear you. Please.
Oh, excellent. Hello, everybody, participants and listeners and panelists. I'm really glad that we managed to make this event at least virtually. Of course, we miss the real face-to-face meetings we had in the first two forums we had in Jelgava and LIAA. But thanks, LIAA, Anders Alksnis and his team for doing great job to make this happen. Okay, I'll try to share my presentation. Can you see?
Yes, we can see it. Thank you. It's full screen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, 15 minutes time. I'll try to be short and precise. Of course, it's not possible to go in very deep detail, but a few words how our industry is feeling at these not so easy times. Firstly, just a few words who we are. We are, to say it simple, organization that brings together leading companies and related organizations that are active in this particular sector, meaning metalworking and engineering industry. And we are here more than 25 years. Today we have some 170 members in our network, and what we do, actually, we bring together these players, these companies, facilitate cooperation, networking, and try to implement projects that are of interest to our companies and help them to be more productive and competitive. For example, key areas, all things related to human resources, education, R&D, innovation, also marketing, export promotion, and of course, during recent years, more and more, all digital transformation things also. How can we help people and organizations outside our network? We are the ones where you can get information and contacts if you are looking for some kind of cooperation with our sector, with our companies. So anybody interested in developing cooperation are welcome to approach us. What's our industry and what are our members? Here is just a picture according to official statistics, official NACE codes. In the upper left corner, there is in percentage how our industry is split among these official NACE codes. But of course, statistics is quite a tricky thing and not always shows a real life, because companies are working in different fields and then cover several segments shown here. Another way how we can show our industry and also what we are representing is basically here you can see main areas, main specialties our companies are focusing and working in. Of course, a lot of companies in our network and in our industry in general, they are supplying parts and components and then working as subcontractors. That's quite a big share of our companies. And then, of course, there are a lot of companies that develop and work on their own products, their own solutions for actually all other industries, all other sectors we can imagine. So in real life, all these things are interlinked because many companies specialize in some kind of production of some sort of equipment or solutions, and on the other hand, they also offer some metalworking or other kind of services just to make sure these production facilities are fully utilized and then effective. Of course, this is our main target audience and then companies we are representing and then trying to help. But besides those ones, it's quite important that we have in our ecosystem also service providers and then organizations that are very important to help these manufacturing companies be competitive and develop. It's all kind of services like testing, certification, engineering, and recently more and more IT companies are coming in our network, and of course it's quite normal thing, as you could hear in a recent panel discussion. The things are merging, engineering and IT, they are merging and new solutions are developed. And of course, knowledge providers, we have most of vocational education and higher education and private training institutions in our network, because qualified specialists, it's the main challenge for at least 10 years. And of course, you cannot work without suppliers supplying metal, other materials, and supplying up-to-date and modern equipment. That's all important. So that's what we are bringing together and representing. Now, some figures about our sector, our industry, how it's performing this year and in recent past. On the left side, it's a little bit of history. Here you can see how the things have developed so far. I will not go very much in deep history, but just to say that starting from year 2016, actually the development was quite rapid, quite successful, and it was so up till March of this year. And then on the right side you can see some figures about main subsectors and then our industry in total. And yeah, we have data for first 9 months of this year, and I have to say, the situation is not so bad as one could expect, let's say in spring. It's more or less, in total figures, it's more or less like it was the last year. So of course the situation is different in different companies, in different subsectors, but in general, so far it's okay, and then the industry is performing in I would say in normal levels. And our forecast for this year is, it should be more or less like in last year. Maybe the last 3 months will bring some slight changes, but I don't think we will have increase or drop more than 1%. So it should be something like this. And main markets, no big changes here. Like it was already said, most of production, about 80% goes to some export markets, and mostly it's the European Union. And country-wise, of course, it's our closest partners in Nordic countries, in Scandinavia. Of course, Germany is one of the biggest and main players in this industry, and then it goes so on. And as you can see, other countries, 22%. There are quite many different markets actually around the globe. Employment also, we have figures for first half of the year. It shows that it has been decreased for some 2% in second quarter, but I wouldn't make some very deep concerns about this, because I think in medium and long term the situation will not change, and demand for skilled specialists will not disappear. It will be here for sure. Maybe because this year is quite complicated and not so easy, little bit more in detail about what has happened this year. We can clearly actually divide this in 3 parts, 3 quarters. The first one, actually, in the beginning of this year, the situation was quite optimistic. It was according to our surveys. Most of companies predicted that the growth will continue, and that statistics also show that first quarter was quite good, and then the growth actually we had for last 4 years continued. Then came March. Of course, it was quite a big shock for everybody, not only our sector, but generally it was quite a big mess. Nobody could understand how the things will develop. Of course, the hardest situation was for those companies that are suppliers for automotive, because the big automotive producers were closed in March, April. Some production resumed only in May. So also these suppliers were those who felt it most badly. Also other companies, it was very mixed picture. Some continued to operate normally, some were partly closed, and also figures show that we had about 10% drop in exports, and then some 8% drop in production. But the good thing is that more or less in June, the things came back to normal life, I would say. And then actually starting from that point, we are producing and exporting more or less at the levels we had the year before. Of course, some major uncertainties remain. It still is difficult for companies that are exporting some equipment to distant markets, because it's still problems to send people to do some assembly works, to do things on site in these distant markets. But in general, I would say up to September, it's doing pretty well. In March, we had a lot worse expectations. Yeah, and then about EU, here we have actually some figures, some comments from Orgolin, European Association of Technological Industries, where we are members also. Yes, it's quite a thing we are also worried about, that actually the situation in the European Union is not so good. And then the predictions and forecasts that economists from Orgolin have announced is also that at least next year we cannot expect a very fast recovery. The soonest we can expect it's the year after. So of course, EU, it's the biggest market for our companies, so we are worried also about what's happening in this our main and biggest market. But on the other hand, many people in EU and also our companies can say the same things, that all this COVID stuff has introduced a trend which is called de-globalization, and then brings some nearshoring trends back to reality, so that many companies that are actually used to have very wide and far-reaching supply chains, they are bringing production closer, because safety of supply, it's sometimes more important than just pure price. So in this respect, we see that our companies can also get some additional share in respect to this global trend which is happening. Like I said, it's a very difficult year. Situation is quite different in many companies. We have actually quite a lot of companies that are doing pretty well, and then in my last minutes of time I have today, just a brief examples of some investments that have happened this year, and then some good things. If we are speaking about investment, then again, it's I think LIAA, our port city in the western part of Latvia, they are one of the most active places if we are speaking about investment. Traditionally, for many years, it was a city known for a big metallurgical plant, LIAA's Metalworks, which has been closed down for several years already. And actually, this closure caused big problems to the city itself, because a lot of city was very much dependent on this big plant. But it's nice to see that many companies are investing, and then this example we have here on the screen, Kalyan, they actually bought one part of LIAA's Metalworks facilities, and a few weeks ago, it was officially opened. This is new mall production plant, and about 10 million euros have been invested in this. So it's a good start to further develop the activities of this company, which is producing telescopic conveyors for logistics and such industries. One of the biggest players in our industry, LIAA, which is producing electrical equipment for trains and other applications. It has been not so easy times for this company and some points of crisis, but it's really nice to see that company is developing strongly, and also this year they have made quite big investment in modernization, in modern equipment, in R&D equipment, and despite this crisis and general trends, they are also expecting to have the turnover and profit increase. So this is definitely a good example to mention. And also some smaller companies, they are doing pretty good investments in modernization. Here we have two examples of companies, Metal Masters and Exigum, which are focusing on precise machining and production of complex parts. Metal Masters have invested in a good and very modern equipment that's quite unique in Latvia and even Baltics. Exigum, it's a new company, and actually they are having a very good start this year. Quite a lot of money in modern and very advanced manufacturing technologies. And some companies that have also started quite big investment plans that will be implemented next year. It's Preco, one of the biggest players in agriculture machinery production. They will invest in automated production lines and metals. Also one of the fastest growing companies in our sector. It's nice to see that they are also expanding and continuing to invest in new production facilities and then also new equipment. And if we are speaking about some interesting projects, I'd like to mention just maybe one example which has developed last year. It's Patria, the big Finnish defense and military company, which has actually during this year done a quite significant work in developing suppliers network in Latvia, also in cooperation with MASOK and other institutions. For example, the first meetings were just 1 year ago in tech industry in Riga, where we exchanged information and understood that there is no cooperation up to now, but since that, step by step, suppliers network has been developed. Several companies, some companies have already signed contracts and several are under negotiation. So we expect full-scale production of such vehicles you can see on this picture beginning in next year in March.
Thank you.
And quite a lot of our companies are involved. Yeah, I understand my time has ended, but yes. Actually, yes, that's
about it.
About situation.
Thank you very much, Toms Greenfeldt. Thank you for your presentation. And now it's actually time for